There are a million reasons to love riding, but there are also a few special things that just make your blood boil when you're on two wheels. And unless you ride, you wouldn't even think they're a big deal. But for those of us who do, it's like death by 1,000 annoyances. This isn't about crashes or injuries or big dramatic stuff. This is about the everyday crap, the disrespect, the cluelessness, the stuff that chips away at your patience every time you throw a leg over the bike. And the worst part, most of it comes from people who have no idea they're doing anything wrong. So, let's get into it. Here's another round of things that absolutely piss off every rider. Number 1. Mechanics who talk down to you because you ride a bike they don't like. Walk into the wrong shop with the wrong badge on your tank and suddenly you're not a customer, you're a punchline. Some mechanics, especially the ones who think anything not built in Milwaukee or Tokyo is trash, will act like you're wasting their time just by showing up. Got a Ducati? Hope you brought your wallet. Ride a Royal Enfield? What's it doing here? We fix real bikes. And God forbid you roll in with a Chinese or Korean brand. They'll treat you like you brought in a lawnmower. It's infuriating because you're not there for an opinion. You're there for service. You could know your bike inside and out, have done your own valve adjustments, and just need a damn tire mounted. But nope. If your patch isn't the one they like, suddenly they're the oracle of two-wheeled truth and you're the village idiot. Smart mechanics don't care what you ride. They care that it's safe, maintained, and rolling right. The ones who judge your ride before they touch it, they're the ones you never go back to, because respect in this community should be earned, not based on brand loyalty. Number 2. Cops who act like your bike automatically means you're up to no good. Look, not all cops are bad. Some ride themselves and they get it. But there's a special breed of officer out there who sees a motorcycle and immediately assumes you're doing something shady. Doesn't matter if you're geared up, riding the limit with your license and registration ready. They roll up with attitude like you just robbed a gas station. They'll ask loaded question. Is this bike stolen? Where you heading to in such a rush? Is this exhaust legal? You could be riding home from church and they'll still sniff around like you're running from a warrant. And if your gear makes you look the slightest bit sporty, forget it. They're already picturing you pulling wheelies through traffic and outrunning helicopters. What pisses off riders isn't the fact that they get stopped, it's the assumption, the tone, the lack of respect. You can feel it the second they step out of the car, and no, it's not paranoia. Enough of these stops and you start riding around hoping not to look suspicious, even when you've done nothing wrong. Being treated like a threat just because you ride is the fastest way to lose faith in the badge. We get it. There are idiots on bikes out there, but don't treat every rider like they're one of them. Number 3. Drivers who speed up when you try to pass. You're riding along, being patient behind some slow-moving SUV, waiting for the right moment to pass. You check your mirrors, signal, move out. And suddenly, that driver who was doing 10 under the limit all day long decides to wake up and become a Formula 1 contender. Every rider's seen this. You go to pass, and the moment you twist the throttle, they do too. Not because they suddenly remembered the speed limit, but because they can't stand the idea of a motorcycle getting ahead of them. It's ego. Pure, stupid ego. It's not just annoying, it's dangerous. Riders need smooth passes. We can't hang out in the other lane forever, and if the person in the car next to us decides to play traffic games while we're in the middle of a pass, that's how crashes happen. And the kicker, as soon as they see you back off, they go right back to driving slow again like nothing happened. These aren't people trying to get somewhere fast. They're just trying to prove some weird, insecure point to a motorcycle they think doesn't belong in front. You want to piss off a rider real fast? Try turning a simple pass into a power struggle. It works every time. Number 4. Gas pumps with no motorcycle kickstand plate. Pulling into a gas station should be the easiest part of the ride, but then you park, hop off, and go to fill up, and realize the whole ground under your kickstand is a soft, sun-baked mess of asphalt just waiting to eat your bike alive. No metal plate, no concrete, nothing but a sad little patch of sinkhole-grade pavement. You try to reposition. Still no good. Maybe you grab a crushed water bottle or a gas receipt to throw under the stand. Maybe you just gamble and pray it doesn't tip. Either way, you're doing extra work just to avoid your bike taking a nap while you're inside paying for gas and beef jerky. And the worst part, it's such an easy fix. A little metal plate, a cheap square of concrete, anything would solve it. But most gas stations couldn't care less. They'll build an entire fountain drink station with 73 flavor options, but heaven forbid they toss down a $5 kickstand pad. It's one of those little things that shows who gets riders and who doesn't. And when you find a station that actually does have one, you remember it forever. Because it shouldn't be that rare, but somehow it is. Number 5. People who don't understand that your helmet is not a shelf. You stop in for coffee, take off your gear, set your helmet on the table or on the seat next to you, and then it happens. Some well-meaning idiot plops their keys, phone, or sunglasses on top of it like it's a coat rack. No permission, no awareness, just full-on disrespect for the one thing standing between your skull and the asphalt. Look, we get it. To non-riders, a helmet looks like a sturdy plastic bowl. But to a rider, that thing is precision safety gear. And even minor drops or impacts can compromise it. That includes you balancing your iced latte on it like it's a cup holder, or slamming your backpack down next to it without thinking. And let's not even talk about the guy who picks it up, turns it over, and puts it on for fun. If you want to see a calm rider go nuclear, that'll do it. Your helmet is part of your life insurance. It's not furniture, it's not decor, and it sure as hell isn't public property just because it's sitting in the open. Number 6. Rain-soaked roads with zero traction and no warning. Nothing gets under a rider's skin faster than that first rain after a long dry spell, when the roads turn into an oil-slicked ice rink and nobody warns you about it. 1 second you're cruising with confidence, the next, your front tire's dancing like it's in a talent show. And drivers, they're still out there tailgating like nothing changed. It's not just the rain. It's the combo of oil, rubber dust, and road grime that builds up after weeks of sunshine. Second that water hits, it turns into a film slicker than motor oil. And unless you've been through it before, you won't believe how fast traction disappears, especially at lights, crosswalks, or painted lines. What really pisses off riders is how everyone else keeps driving like it's just a sprinkle. No caution signs, no reduced speeds, no heads up. And when a bike goes down, people act like it was your fault for not being careful. We are careful, but no amount of skill saves you from a surprise skid on a greasy intersection with zero grip. That's not poor riding, that's poor road maintenance and total ignorance. Number 7. Dealerships that won't let you test ride anything. You walk into a dealership ready to drop thousands of dollars on a bike. You've done your homework, narrowed it down. Maybe you even brought your gear in case today's the day. And then they hit you with the classic, "Sorry, we don't do test rides." Excuse me? Imagine trying to buy a car without ever sitting in the driver's seat. Wouldn't happen. But on 2 wheels, where fit, weight, balance, and throttle feel matter way more, you're supposed to take a leap of faith because some salesman tells you it's really smooth once you get used to it. What pisses riders off the most is that it feels like a trust issue, as if anyone who wants a test ride is just there to joyride and ghost the sale. Meanwhile, you've got insurance, cash in hand, and more respect for the bike than half the people working there. And then you find the rare dealer who does let you test ride, and boom, suddenly you feel like a real customer, not a liability. A motorcycle isn't a product you can just buy on specs. You need to feel it. And if a shop won't even let you try before committing to a 5-figure purchase, yeah, screw that place. Number 8. People who assume you must be trying to get attention. You're out riding, enjoying the road, minding your business. Maybe your bike's a little loud, maybe your jacket's bright, maybe your headlight modulator's flashing like a lighthouse, and suddenly, some stranger gives you that look. The one that says, this guy just wants everyone to look at him. Let's clear something up real fast. Most riders don't ride for attention. We ride to disconnect, to focus, to enjoy the road. The bike just happens to make noise. The jacket just happens to be reflective. The headlight just happens to pulse so some half-blind minivan driver doesn't plow into us. It's not a fashion show. It's survival. But people still roll their eyes like we're out here begging for clout. Newsflash, loud pipes aren't about flexing. High vis isn't about showing off. It's about not dying. And the irony, the same people judging us for being flashy are the ones texting behind the wheel and not seeing us until something loud or bright snaps them out of their coma. It's not about attention, it's about visibility. And if you've never had a car pull into your lane like you don't exist, then maybe don't judge how we choose to make sure they see us. Number 9. People who slam on their brakes just to turn without signaling. You're riding with a nice buffer, scanning ahead, everything feels smooth. Then boom! The car in front of you slams on the brakes with zero warning and takes a sharp right turn like they just spotted buried treasure. No signal, no heads up, just a surprise deceleration that makes your heart lurch into your throat. Every rider hates this. In a car, it's annoying. On a bike, it's dangerous. Sudden braking from the vehicle ahead can throw off your line, mess with your balance, and force you into emergency stop mode, especially if you're cornering or filtering through traffic. And when there's no signal, you don't even know if they're slowing down for a turn, a hazard, or just being an idiot. What makes it worse is how common it is. People drive with one hand, phone in the other, and still can't manage to flick a lever before veering off. And if you rear-end them, guess what? The cop might still look at you as the problem. It's a small, lazy move that creates big consequences for riders. So if you want to piss off a biker in under 2 seconds, just yank the wheel into a driveway without warning. Works every time. Number 10. People who treat parking your bike indoors like a crime. You roll up to your apartment, or a hotel you paid for, or even a friend's garage, and someone's already given you the stink eye because you dared to bring a motorcycle into an enclosed space. Heaven forbid you park it inside for safety, weather, or just basic security. Oh, you can't bring that in here. Motorcycles don't belong inside. What if it leaks oil everywhere? Never mind that it's clean, quiet, and no different from a bicycle or scooter that gets wheeled in all the time. The moment it has an engine, and suddenly it's treated like a ticking time bomb or some outlaw contraband. Doesn't matter if it's a brand new bike with zero leaks. They act like it's going to burst into flames and stain the earth forever. It's not about mess. It's about the idea of it. Bikes are still seen by a lot of people as outdoor-only toys or greasy garage projects. So when they see one next to a couch or in a hallway, they freak out. Meanwhile, riders just want their bikes protected from thieves, from hailstorms, from drunk drivers reversing into parking lots at night. But nope. Apparently we're supposed to just leave them exposed because of imaginary oil leaks. That double standard? Yeah, it pisses us off. Number 11. Websites that show a part fits your bike, and it doesn't. You search for hours. You filter by make, model, year. You check reviews. You double and triple check the listing. It says loud and clear, fits your 2014 Yamaha FZ09. So you order it, wait a week, crack open the box, and what do you get? A part that looks like it was made for a lawnmower. It's one of the biggest letdowns in motorcycle ownership. You did everything right, the system lied. The holes don't line up, the bracket's wrong, the cables don't fit. And now you're back on hold with customer service trying to explain why universal fit doesn't mean one size fits all if you have a welder. Sometimes it's the seller's fault, sometimes it's lazy website coding, and sometimes it's the parts manufacturer just tagging every bike under the sun to boost sales. Either way, it's the rider who ends up losing time, money, and patience. And returning motorcycle parts, that's a pain in itself. Especially when the packaging's torn and you tried to mock it up. So now you're stuck with a useless part and a lesson in online shopping you'd never wanted. Want to really piss off a rider? Sell them hope and ship them disappointment. Number 12. Riders who flex their lean angle like it's a personality trait. You know the type. Every time you stop for coffee or hit up a group ride, there's that one guy who just won't shut up about how far he leaned into the last corner. Bro, I was scraping pegs through that roundabout. You should have seen the angle I held throughout that turn. Yeah, okay, cool, Valentino. Want a medal? Look, there's nothing wrong with pushing yourself or improving your riding, but constantly bragging about lean angle like it's some holy measurement of skill, that gets old real fast. Riding isn't a contest, and guess what? Scraping parts doesn't make you fast. Sometimes it just means your suspension's too soft or your body positioning sucks. The real irony, the best riders don't talk about lean angle. They talk about smoothness, control, line selection. The guy who won't shut up about chicken strips is usually the same guy who panic brakes mid-corner when something goes wrong. So yeah, if you're leaning hard and riding well, awesome. But if you're just using your tire wear as a personality trait, that's not impressive. That's just loud. Number 13. Service shops that keep your bike for weeks over a 30-minute job. You roll into a shop for something simple, a tire mount, an oil change, maybe a brake pad swap. Stuff you could do yourself, but maybe you're short on time or just want it done right. They say, yeah, no problem, leave it here. So you do, and then nothing. Days go by, you call. We're just waiting on a tech. Another week. We got slammed with walk-ins. 2 more weeks. We had to order a part, it should be here on Monday. Except it's already next Monday, and your bike, the one you ride every day, is just sitting there behind the building collecting cobwebs. It's not just the delay that pisses you off. It's the lack of communication, the ghosting, the passive attitude like your bike is just a lawn ornament they'll eventually get around to. And heaven forbid you try to pick it up mid-job. They'll act like you're being unreasonable for wanting back the thing you own. Meanwhile, you could have done the job in your garage with basic tools and a 6-pack. But now, you're walking to work and wondering if your chain's even still on the sprocket. Want to lose a rider's trust forever? Tell them 2 days max, and then hold their bike hostage for a month. Most of these things aren't big enough to ruin your day, until they stack up. And when you ride often, trust me, they do. From clueless people to lazy mechanics and broken systems, it's like the world finds new ways to test your patience every time you start the engine. So what about you? Which one of these drives you insane? Or did I miss a special kind of nonsense that only you've had to deal with? Drop it in the comments. I want to hear the weirdest, dumbest, most aggravating thing someone's done to you just because you ride. And if you enjoyed this one, hit that like button and subscribe. There's plenty more biker truth coming your way. Ride safe, ride smart, and try not to throw your helmet at anyone.